Carissa here again with Southern Homegrown. So in today's video, I want to talk a little bit about the different trimesters and your baby's growth and developments during each. A trimester is just, you're broken down throughout your pregnancy into 3 different trimesters. The first trimester is usually from week 1 to week 13. This is where you first find out you're pregnant. You may have some morning sickness. Generally, this goes away by week 14 by the time you get into your second trimester. But this is where you'll miss your period. Implantation occurs, you miss your period. The heart, lungs, brain, and the spinal cord all begin to develop in the baby. The eyes and the ears begin to form. Arms and leg buds are visible by the end of this trimester. Around usually week 6 or 7, somewhere up in there, all essential organs have begun to form by generally week 8 or 9, up in there. The head is usually about half of the total of the body, and this occurs usually around 10th or 11th week of pregnancy, which you're still in your first trimester. The fingers and the toes have separated by week 12, and by week 13, facial features are clear. So, it's like we said, important to eat the protein that you need and protein-rich foods to keep your baby growing. So that's the first trimester, which, like I said, is from the beginning of pregnancy on to roughly week 13. So your second trimester consists of weeks 14 through 27. And here, about week 14, the external genitalia, whether you're going to have a boy or a girl, this, starts to kind of be visible or, get there. You're around week 15, your baby may start sucking its thumb. If you were to do an ultrasound, you may see that. The baby's movements can probably start being felt somewhere around week 16. It depends on the person, like I said, like we talked in some of the earlier videos. Depends on, if you've had kids before, if not, or if you were very sensitive. Body fat begins to form around week 17. But around week 18, the growth kind of begins to slow down a little bit. It's pretty rapid up until that point. But week 19, you start to see something called Vernix, which is this white substance that kind of covers the baby. It's a protective coating kind of thing. It's really nice. 20 weeks, the baby sleeps and wakes regularly. They may be on a type of schedule at this point, and you may start to feel more movement at night as you get still, because during the day you're up and you're moving about and you're kind of walking around and think of like your baby in your belly, and you're kind of rocking it to sleep as you move during the day, so it may sleep, and then at night you get still, your baby wakes up and wait a minute, where's my cradle rockabye, It may be a little bit more active at night. So then around week 21, your baby's learning to swallow. They're practicing, they're taking in that amniotic fluid and swallowing fluids from the sac, amniotic sac. The fingernails and toenails are visible, yay, around week 22. Eyelashes and eyebrows, they start to develop around 22, 23 weeks, somewhere up in there. So you got your eyelashes starting to form and everything. And then around 24 weeks, that fine body hair, they call it lanugo, starts to form, and it could darken. It becomes a little more visible at this point. Week 25, your baby still weighs less than 2 pounds, but it's starting to grow. Your baby's getting there. The baby can open and close the eyelids by 26 and 27 weeks. And at this point, around 27 weeks, you have reached the end of your second trimester. And up until this point, you're probably still seeing your midwife or your OB once a month. And you want to make sure to get in the right amount of exercise, you know, and because it's going to be good for you and your baby. Because like we talked about earlier in one of the other videos, that your birth is a marathon, it's not a sprint. So you want to train for that as well, you know, and don't go out and do anything strenuous or something that you would not normally do. Just get out and maybe take a walk in the evenings, you know. Do a couple of stretches on the floor, try to loosen up those muscles in your legs and things, different things like that. And we'll do a video later on actual pregnancy exercises and show how that's done and what you might can do. But now you've made it to the 3rd trimester. Congratulations. From 28 to 40 weeks, beyond possibly 42, depends, and we'll talk about estimated due dates in a little bit on another video, but that's your 3rd trimester. So it starts out your 28th week, the brain develops more rapidly. That's why we talked about it is crucial to get those good fats in, that good, you know, if you like some avocados, you know, do some avocados with whole wheat toast, you know, get you some good, you know, use some olive oil on your salad, you know, different things like that. Just make sure you're getting that in because that's crucial to your baby's brain development. The amniotic fluid has reached about 2.2 pints at this point, so it's the maximum amount. That's by about 29 weeks. So, but as we said, it's going to constantly be replenishing. The baby's swallowing and digesting it out and things like that, and you're constantly replenishing. It's really important to get that water in. And what did we say? Half your body weight in water. That's right. So, you know, don't feel pressured. You know, like you have to get exactly all of it, but it's really good to try to get it all if you can. So we were at 30 weeks, so your baby can respond to light now, and the fine body hairs, they kind of begin to kind of disappear as, you know, you go. So if you had a flashlight or something on your stomach, it can respond. You may see the baby kind of move, you know, different directions and things, and that's by like 30 to 32 weeks, somewhere up in there. So at 33 weeks, the bones are still continuing to harden with the baby. The skull still is going to remain soft and pliable, like we talked about. You know, those fontanelles, as the baby moves through the birth canal, those are still going to be pliable. The bones are still going to be, you know, to where they can kind of bend and move as they need to facilitate the baby being birthed through the canal. But they will start to get a little bit harder at this point, which is 33 weeks. Congratulations. So at 34 weeks, you know, the body fat starts to increase more rapidly. You're getting there. The body fat's building up. The baby's growing. 35 weeks, you know, the lungs are approaching maturity. But like we talked about, that that protein in the fetal lungs, you know, that is emitted when the lungs are fully developed, which is one of the things that help you go into labor. You know, they're at 35 weeks, they're approaching maturity. They may not quite be there yet, but they're getting there. You know, worst case scenario, if something was to happen and you had to deliver, they're getting mature, but not ideal yet. So make sure you get plenty of rest and naps and things like that, because like I said, this is a marathon, not a sprint. 36 weeks, most babies by 36 weeks have shifted into the head down position. You know, up until that point, you know, they're still growing, they're still kind of moving around and flipping and things, but by 36 weeks, they're generally head down, or most of the time they like them to be head down at this point. It may not be, and if they're not, don't worry, they'll get there. You know, but most of the time, they are. So by 37 weeks, babies born before the end of this week is considered premature. So like 36 and, you know, 36 and 5 or 36 and 6, you know, before you turn 36 and 7, you turn 37, you know. Babies at that point are still considered premature. So at 38 weeks, the babies of first-time moms may drop into the pelvis at this point. Now, like second-time moms, it may be during labor the baby will drop into position. You know, they generally take a little time, but usually first-time moms, around 38 to 39 weeks, they'll drop on into the pelvis around this time for first-time moms. And your baby's brain is still developing. Let's let's remember that good avocado and those good fats. And welcome to week 40, your estimated due date. This is the day that everybody says this should be the day. But if this day comes and this day rolls around, don't let it bug you, because your baby is still developing. Your baby is unique. Your baby is just as different as you or I or anybody else. And they may just take a little more time, you know, and that's why it's important, like we said earlier, not to rush, not to get things, because that fetal lung protein in their lungs will be submitted. And then also when everything is ready and mature, then is the time that you'll go into labor. And a lot of times with second time moms, like moms and birth people that have other kids, it may even be during the night, like after the kids go to bed, the other siblings go to bed, and they can actually rest and breathe for a minute, like, oh, okay. And it's like, oh, wait a minute, I feel that. What is that? You know, oh, labor, hello, you know. So yeah, but like I said, don't let it stress you if you hit 40 weeks and nothing, you know. I mean, you can go 42, you could go 41. I know in my first, I believe I was 41, and I was almost 42 weeks before he decided to come out. So yeah, it can totally depend. But also, you know, you want to take into effect your circumstances and your mental state. If this is your last baby, you may mentally kind of be holding on to that. I don't know. You know, am I really done? Am I really not done? You know, and you want to be in that calm environment, like I said. But everything works out the way it's supposed to. Everything happens for a reason. I believe, you know, the process is natural, and everything will go as it should. You just have to trust in birth and trust in yourself that you're strong and you can do this. And like I said, if you have any questions, you know the drill at this point now. We're 8-9 videos in. So info@southernhomegrown.com, or contact us on the contact page at southernhomegrown.com. Have a great day. Thanks.